I'm back with my guest, my co-host for this month's TCM Spotlight series, the author of Five Came Back, Mark Harris. Mark, welcome back. Let's talk about the ending of Meet John Doe, because that was not the original ending.
Right. Capra could never really find an ending for this movie. I think this may be a one-time only thing in movie history. Capra actually redid the ending after the movie opened in New York, but before it opened in the rest of the country. And that is the ending that we saw tonight.
The ending that would have made the most sense would have been Gary Cooper jumping off the building.
Right, and suicide in 1941 would have been a really, really problematic move for a movie to make, especially given the production code, which had really strict rules about being punished and the innocent not being punished. So the question with Meet John Doe was, where's the balance between cynicism and pessimism and what we think of as a more kind of Capra-esque live to fight another day optimism?
And then the other unspoken movie rule of Gary Cooper can't jump off a building and kill himself.
Right, and that was
Right.
pretty much a spoken movie rule.
Right,
I mean,
okay, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Capra said, we are not doing that.
Yeah.
And
that put them in a bind. They wrote themselves into a bind, and a lot of writers came in to try and get him out of it, and nearly all of them had the same reaction, which is, you're in a tough spot here.
Right. I mean, one writer just said to him, frankly, you haven't figured out what this movie is, and that's why you don't have an ending. And I don't think that Capra entirely disagreed with that. He always said that this was the movie he struggled the most with.
All right, Mark, thank you. Mark and I will be back in a bit to talk about the first film in Frank Capra's famous Why We Fight series. But before we get there, we have an animated short produced by Capra and the Army, intended to be released only to members of the military, featuring a bumbling character named Private SNAFU. And we'll be featuring several of these animated shorts each Tuesday night. Mark, what is the history of Private SNAFU?
Well, Private SNAFU was probably the single most popular thing that Capra did during the war in terms of filmmaking, even though the results were never seen by home front audiences. It was his idea that you could teach little lessons about the importance of keeping secrets, about the importance of not gossiping, about the importance of not being lazy to enlisted men by doing short cartoons. And he enlisted this kind of dream team, including Theodore Geisel, later known as Dr. Seuss, Chuck Jones, Frisch Freleng, to create this character who, as you'll see, looks very, very much like Elmer Fudd, who was still kind of in development, who wasn't really a movie character yet. And through the mishaps and mistakes of Private SNAFU, who was the subject of about 24 short cartoons, these little lessons were taught. And one of the things about the cartoons is, because they were only for GIs, they could be a lot racier and a lot raunchier than anything that home front audiences would ever see.
I think it's explained in the first one, but can you cleanly tell us what SNAFU is, for those who don't know?
Well, as the narrator says, SNAFU stands for Situation Normal All Fouled Up. And I think the pause that you'll hear before fouled explains everything you need to know.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Mark. From 1943, here's the first of the series. It's Coming, SNAFU.
Visit shop